From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LA Late.
It's a major night here on Evenings LA as the markets reopen for a new year with brand new stimulus checks and the culmination of 3 years of stimulus checks. We'll go over the latest details on these massive 2023 stimulus checks for individuals who make less than $75,000 for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, Veterans stimulus checks. These are beautiful stimulus checks for anyone who is low income as well, $75,000 or less, and married couple $150,000 less. These stimulus checks for 2023 is a combination of stimulus checks from 2020, 2021, and 2022 combined. 18 months of stimulus checks, 8 checks per month, 5 checks per month, $3,000 on average. In this recording, we're going to go over these incredible stimulus checks for 2023 and how you can get them as well. Stimulus check A to C, heat up this recording first. Then we'll go to stimulus checks E through K. Then over to stimulus checks L to Q. Then we go to the brand new checks for 2023. Stimulus check R, the unemployment stimulus, and PEBT stimulus checks. How do you get these incredible stimulus checks? By becoming a member. Going on right under this video and subscribing and joining this incredible channel. And then going into the membership newsletter that everyone's talking about, because now you can apply for those stimulus checks the minute you become a member. The newsletters at news.la.com/newsletter. But today we have all the breaking news as well. The market opened today and looked exactly how it ended last year. Then we had Tesla deliveries, major numbers on that, but the market was unhappy. We'll have the latest details across the board. And then we're going to have the latest breaking news on the PMI manufacturing numbers released today. Thursday, the Fed speeches and also labor, and Friday, the major breaking details of that unemployment rate. But the breaking news from the shores of Santa Monica, California today is that there's massive stimulus for 2023. It's a combination of 2020, 2021, and 2022 stimulus checks. Over $500 million of money available for you tonight. And it's a nice recording. We're going to go over all these incredible stimulus checks for you from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's a major week and a lot of money at issue. We have a lot to go over tonight. It all heats up tonight with everything you need to know on the shores of Santa Monica, California, to the shores of the East Coast. From the heads to the lows, we're going to go over everything you need to know on a big broadcast tonight. It all starts right here, right now, as Evenings LA gets underway. And good evening, everybody. What a night it is, because 2023 is upon us with massive stimulus. Why does 2023 have so much stimulus? Because the combination of 20 stimulus, 2021's, and 2022 stimulus. A lot has been left over, and it's over $500 million. These are stimulus checks for you. If you make $75,000 or less, these are stimulus checks for you, SSI. Stimulus checks for you, SSDI. Stimulus checks for you, SSA. Stimulus checks for you, veterans. Stimulus checks for you, low income. We're going to go over all these incredible stimulus checks in this recording tonight. How much is that issue? 18 months of stimulus checks, 5 checks per month, $3,000 per month on average. In this recording, we're going to go over all these incredible stimulus checks. Later in the recording, we're going to go over stimulus check R, which is brand new, unemployment stimulus, and PEBT stimulus checks. But first, we're going to start with stimulus checks A through C. Let's go into those first 3 stimulus checks right now. Stimulus checks A through C are huge, and these became law from Joe Biden. Joe Biden passed a series of executive actions which established the first 3 stimulus checks, A, B, and C. And they're really great. Again, these are stimulus checks for you if you made $75,000 or less in 2022. And those incredible stimulus checks A through C came from Joe Biden. Then came the checks E through K from Congress. And theirs established hundreds of checks. We'll have the latest details on that. But thereafter, I found you other stimulus checks, and those other stimulus checks are L to Q. And tonight, we go over also the brand new stimulus check R, unemployment stimulus, and PEBT stimulus. Where do we get all these incredible stimulus checks? Becoming a member. Go right on this video, join the channel, and go right into that newsletter tonight, right after you're watching this video, and apply for those incredible stimulus checks. It's at news.la.com/newsletter. Later in this recording, we'll go over the breaking news as the PMI manufacturing report was released. We'll go over a countdown of what to see later this week. The Dow started this week much like how it ended last year. Tesla delivered big, but Wall Street was unhappy. January retail numbers heat up, and the March rebound wasn't there. But let's first go into those incredible 2023 stimulus checks starting right now. Those incredible 2023 stimulus checks have 18 months, $3,000 a month, and 5 checks on average across the board. Let's go into those first 3 checks, A, B, and C, right now. Stimulus check A is a beautiful $6,500 to $12,000 stimulus check for Americans, for U.S. Americans and U.S. states and also U.S. territories. If you made $75,000 less, these are for you. How do you get them? You become a member. You go right into that newsletter right tonight and apply for these incredible stimulus checks. But you're not done there yet. You're going to go get stimulus check B, $15,000 to $80,000. But why is stimulus check B so good? Because this is the check that delivers people a lot of months of stimulus. And you need a lot of months of stimulus with a 2-year recession, potentially 24 months of recession. And you're going to need 18 months of stimulus checks. And that's what Frank Mancuso got. And that's why viewers love stimulus check B. Go on in this video, become a member, and get these wonderful stimulus checks B from Joe Biden. Next up is stimulus check C, which is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And in that newsletter, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. 12 different places. Let's look at some of the success stories you can have from Check C for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. It starts first with the rent. You want $30,000 of rent? Well, become a member. Go right in this video, join the channel. Then go down to stimulus check C, where it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. You want $30,000 of rent? Go get that wonderful check C. Next up, utilities. Do you want $15,000 for utilities? It's happening all the time. Go into this video, become a member. Go into the newsletter 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and get some incredible utilities. Upwards of $15,000 is happening all the time. Combinations of stimulus checks at stimulus check C for you, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, veterans, low income. Go get some combinations of checks. Niece's a $23,000 stimulus check at stimulus check C. She went to $50,000. Then Mark was at $32,000. He went to $50,000. Then to $100,000. Then to $166,000 from the stimulus check C in these 2023 stimulus checks. And here's Lorraine. She was at $105,000. She went to $150,000 across the board. Stimulus checks A, B, and C have yielded a lot of money to a lot of people for 2023. Dragon is holding $170,000 from this wonderful 2023 stimulus checks. We have Johnny, who's gone to 20 friends and neighbors, $250,000 for these incredible first 3 stimulus checks, A, B, and C. And the success stories keep on coming in all the time, with Lynn Glenn with 14 months of utilities, helping her friends and neighbors, getting 12 months as well. She also got herself 12 months of rent on top of the 14 months of utilities. It's incredible. So go right in this video, get those incredible checks A, B, and C. Now, those are just the first 3 checks, as you saw that earlier graphic. We're now going to go over the stimulus checks E through K. These are the ones that were done by Congress right after Joe Biden, and they are really wonderful. Let's look at those beautiful stimulus checks E through K right now and understand what's at issue, and more importantly, how do we get them? Again, you get them in the membership newsletter. Stimulus check E through K, heat up right now. Again, that newsletter is at news.la.com/newsletter, a link to which is in the description of the video, top of the chat, and also in the pinned comment. Let's go into the stimulus checks E through K starting right now. Stimulus check AE in the newsletter is a beautiful $7,500 stimulus check for you, SSI, SSDI, low income, anyone who makes $75,000 or less. Wonderful. Stimulus check F, a $4,000 stimulus check. I love it. Stimulus check G, 30% off. Wow. Stimulus check H, $2,000 stimulus check. Incredible. Stimulus check I and J, each $8,000. Wonderful. And then stimulus check K, $14,000. And there you go. So far in this recording, we have done stimulus check A, B, and C for 2023 for you, SSI, SSDI, you, low income, you, veterans, you, RB, anyone who makes $75,000 less in 2022, that's for you. Then we just went over those stimulus checks E through K that came from Congress, same eligibility as those first three checks. And now we're going to go over to more stimulus checks for you, the Purple Pox, Purple Power, Calcino VIPs. They're stimulus checks L to Q. And these are the stimulus checks yours truly found for you. And right after that, I have another new check as well. These are stimulus checks I found for you, and they're really wonderful. Let's start stimulus checks L to Q starting right now. Stimulus check L is $100,000 average. $100,000 on average of loan industry money. Wow. M is a $4,000 stimulus check. Love it. Stimulus check N, incredible. It is a beautiful free internet, computer, tablet, or laptop. Stimulus check N, you learn about the incredible brand new computer you can get free, tablet free, or laptop free with free internet. This is from the federal government. Stimulus check O is a beautiful zero down payment, zero closing costs, brand new mortgage across the board. And then stimulus P and Q. P is 3% for a refi, and Q is a gorgeous $8,000 stimulus check. So far we have done A to C from Joe Biden, E through K from the Congress. What do we have so far between A to K? Largest stimulus check so far, $100,000. Smallest stimulus check so far, $8,000. Fastest routing time so far, 2 days. Johnny started on Monday. By Wednesday, he had 45,000. By Friday, he had 15 applications in, half rejected, half approved, 80,000. The next week, he helped his 20 friends and neighbors get $250,000. He also helped his mom and dad get 50,000 each. We have stimulus checks in A to Q for the rent, the utilities, the mortgage assistance, the home repairs, the home appliances, the computer, the car, the free internet. It's just incredible. And those are A to Q for 2023. Remember, 2023 is going to be the best year for stimulus ever because we have all this leftover stimulus from 2020, 2021, and 2022. Over $500 million in the membership newsletter. Have you become a member right now? Go around this video and go get that incredible money. We'll go over that newsletter in just a second. But after Q, I found another stimulus check. So now this stimulus check is a little bit different. This is stimulus check R. And stimulus check R is for my small business owners. Welcome back on this channel from the earliest days of EIDL and PPP. If you had an employee in 2019, the pandemic hit, did you keep that employee on staff in 2020? I hope you did. And in 2022, 2021, I hope you did. How much are you going to get paid? $26,000 for that one employee. If you did this for 20 employees, you're going to get $500,000. This is called the Employee Retention Tax Credit, and it debuted on this channel right before 2023. It is heating up 2023 because it is so much money. Let's go over that stimulus check R. Reach out to a tax preparer for guidance further on this stimulus check R. Stimulus check R is wonderful because it is so much money. How does it work? What do you need to know about this incredible stimulus check R? Well, it's the Employee Retention Tax Credit, and it starts with understanding that you had people on staff in 2019. When the pandemic hit in 2020, did you keep them on staff or did you let them go? Well, if you kept them on staff throughout all of 2020 and throughout all of 2021, how much are you going to get? You're going to get a lot. You're going to get nearly $26,000 per employee. But it gets better than that. It gets better than that because it's stimulus check R. If you had 10 employees, you're going to get $250,000. If you had 20 employees, you kept them on staff through 2021, third quarter, it's $500,000. It's absolutely wonderful. And this is stimulus check R. It is all in the membership newsletter down at Stimulus Check R. So let's go into that incredible membership newsletter right now and understand how you can also get, on average, 18 months of stimulus checks, fast stimulus in 2 days, $3,000 a month on average, 5 checks per month on average. Let's go over all those incredible details of these beautiful 2023 stimulus checks right now. The membership newsletter has in there A to C, E to Q, E to K, and L to Q. And it's news.lalate.com/newsletter. If you're a member or if you become a member right while watching this video, you can now go into the second new home for the newsletter on this channel around the clock the minute you become a member. You don't have to write down the address you see on the screen because that website, its description, its link is in the description of this video. The top of the chat the pinned comment as well. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. You grab the password to go into the password protected newsletter on any of the most recent posts on channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. The password is changed once a day, so grab the password for the most recent posts on your channel that you're a member to. Same password is on all 3 channels, channel 1 L8, channel 2 L8, and channel 3 L8, and put in into that incredible newsletter and go right in and get those incredible stimulus checks. And that is A to C, E to K, and L to Q. Now, in addition to these stimulus checks for 2023, there is unemployment stimulus. And unemployment stimulus is so critical for 2023 because it's important to understand how to get it, where it works, and what you need to know. Unemployment stimulus is payment of money to you as a fired W-2 employee if that event happens. And in this example, let's assume a series of dates. Let's assume you were employed as a W-2 employee. In September 2022, you were fired on October 1st by the boss. And then you got lucky because in January 2023, you got hired as a W-2 employee somewhere else. Those are the facts we're assuming in this example. So on step 1, you realize, wait a second, I was unemployed from October 1st to January 1 because I was fired at that first job as a W-2 employee. Can I get unemployment? Absolutely. So step 1, you go to your state's Department of Unemployment, file the claim, and on that step 1, it's going to ask you 3 questions. Let's go over those 3 questions right now. Question number 1, what date were you fired as a W-2 employee? In this example, it is October 1st. You put in October 1st. Easy. Next question, are you willing to work? Absolutely. Answer yes. Able to work? Answer yes. If those are your answers. Willing to work is a mental question. Able to work is a physical question. And at that point, your claim is approved. Now we go on to step number 2 for unemployment stimulus. At step 2 for unemployment stimulus, you're basically asking for a stimulus check for each week that you were unemployed. So they have a fancy word for this. They call this certify for benefits. In this example, you were unemployed the week of October 1st, the second week of October, and then the third week of October. It went all the way until you were no longer unemployed, which of course is when you got that new job on January 1. So you are entitled to unemployment checks for the entire month of October, entire month of November, and the entire month of December until you got that new job on January 1, 2023. So step 1, after you have the claim approved, is go in and ask for the check for that first week of October 1st, second week of October, and continue all the way up until you are no longer unemployed. Very, very simple. Can you be too early on asking for these checks? Yes, the website will tell you if you're too early. Can you be too late? No, generally not. And what is that very important twist to remember? The important twist to remember is that if you were unemployed in October, November, December of 2022, because you were fired as a W-2 employee on October 1st, but later got a brand new job on January 1 from another place, can you still, in February of 2023, get unemployment checks for the weeks of October, November, and December only when you're unemployed because of that prior firing? Absolutely. People forget that. So you were unemployed for 3 months because you were fired from that first job. You can get checks for those 3 months, even though something happened good in your life later on. It's incredible. So congratulations if you got rehired. Sad if you get unemployed anytime soon. You know a friend or family. But the good news is that you know now how to do unemployment stimulus for 2023. PEBT stimulus checks heat up right now as well. PEBT stimulus checks are much like unemployment stimulus checks. Why? Because there are concerning events in the past. During the pandemic, the federal government and also the state sent out a lot of money for PEBT, but some people still never got it. And a lot of that money is still landing tonight. $391 in the state of Arizona, direct deposit or a debit card. A lot of that PEBT stimulus checks are still coming out. So you've seen the universality of certain things in these 2023 stimulus checks. They are for events that have generally happened in the past, in the exception of unemployment that happens for you in the future. You want to get as much of this money as possible. So go right on this video, go get check A, then go get check B. Reach out for those 12 places, get that great stimulus check C. then continue over way through from C into those E through K checks. Again, those are the wonderful checks from Congress. And then do L to Q. If you're a small business owner and you had employees on staff in 2019, you kept them on staff in 2020, and you kept them on staff on 3/4 of 2021, get ready for lots of money. $26,000 per employee. It's all in that membership newsletter. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. And again, you don't have to write down that website address. It's in the description of this video, the pinned comment, and also at the top of the chat. You go right in there and start applying for these incredible stimulus checks and get as many months of stimulus checks as possible, because in about 30 days from now, we will learn whether it's going to be a 2-year, 24-month recession or a 2-month recession. You have to assume it's going to be the worst case scenario so that you can get as much stimulus as you can. Start with A, B, and C, then get that stimulus N, because I like that tablet, don't you? And then continue to cross the board. What's coming up in just a second? In a second, we're going to go over the latest details on what the market found today. It did not rally. It initially went up and then it fell apart. The PMI report was released this morning. What did it say? Then we have those Fed speaks and the labor numbers coming on Thursday. Tesla, major beat overnight with the vehicle deliveries for 2022. But the markets were hideously upset about it. Why? Well, the latest breaking news tonight on evenings. January retail numbers are critical. Really? Yeah, I'll explain to you why in tonight's recording. And a market rebound did not materialize today after it really fell apart in December. And then look at this graphic. This graphic is how the markets ended for 2022. We started the day of 2023 looking like this, but by the middle of the day, it was far worse. What happened? We'll go over the latest details of what we saw in that manufacturing report today, and guess what? It was not good either. What's important to know is that there's massive stimulus for you right now in 2023. The combination of 3 years of stimulus checks. Lots of wonderful stimulus checks. Stimulus check A, B, and C. Then E through K. Then L to Q. Small business owners get that incredible stimulus check R. Plus, we have the countdown, what we can see of those unemployment numbers this week. Oh, boy. Major recording. And remember, get as much stimulus check B as you can, like Frank Mancuso, because what did he get? 18 months. Lots of checks, credible across the board. I'll see you back in 60 seconds with more of this and more about the breaking news. Plus, we'll go over the latest details of what you should anticipate in a big week that is just getting started. We'll be back in 60 seconds with this and more, with all the breaking news as the shores of Santa Monica, California heat up. It's a big night across the board as 2023 starts, but the markets don't seem to find the lift. We'll explain to you why as Evenings Lalate in prime time continues tonight from Santa Monica, California, on a brand new year and a brand new day with all this and more on Evenings. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues on a big, bold, beautiful Evenings, LA, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Massive stimulus is available for you right now. I'm going to go over more about these incredible stimulus checks in the big second half. Hundreds of checks passed by Congress that followed the stimulus checks from Joe Biden, A, B, and C, and all in that incredible membership newsletter. Initially delivered only certain hours a day, it is now available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from the shores of Santa Monica, California. As we go into the big second half, we're going to be looking at the latest details in the markets, but understand where we're heading across the board. Major news heating up tonight's broadcast, and it all starts right now on the continuation of tonight's Evenings LA. Hope you're having a beautiful night, and I'm so excited you are here. What's important to understand when you're looking at this stimulus for 2023, it's a combination of lots of wonderful stimulus. 2020 passed a lot of stimulus. 2021 did as well, and 2023 had lots of it. Over $500 million of stimulus checks still around. These are stimulus checks for you, SSI. Stimulus checks for you, SSDI. Stimulus checks for you, SSA seniors, Social Security recipients. Stimulus checks for you, veterans, VA. Stimulus checks for you, railroad benefits. And stimulus checks for you, low income. Eligibility is always the same. These are for Americans. These are for Americans. U.S. states, U.S. territories. And it goes off the income from 2022. 75,000 less, a single individual, 150,000 less, married couple, go get it. Go right in this video right now, join the channel, become a member, and go right into that newsletter. The newsletter is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it's a website. It's the gift from me to you for Christmas 2022. It's at news.la.com/newsletter. You don't have to write down the address. It's in the description, also in the pinned comment and at the top of the chat. Whichever channel you're a member of, go into the most recent member post and grab the password from the most recent member post and put it into that password protected newsletter, and you are in. Ready to rock and roll. Get A, B, and C. Don't forget N. It's wonderful. E through K, and go all the way to L to Q. And if you're a small business owner, of course, get that beautiful stimulus check R. And with that, let's continue into the breaking news we're dealing with tonight before we go back into these incredible stimulus checks. Some of the breaking news we're dealing with tonight is that the markets are unhappy with a lot of things at the same time. And it started last night. Did you see what happened last night? Well, if you watched Mornings LA today, you certainly got a sense of it. Last night, Tesla announced that the auto manufacturer had major beats, major wonderful numbers on its vehicle deliveries. Really? So it delivered a lot of vehicles in 2022. Monstrous amount. How much growth was there in those numbers? Up 40% year to date. It made 40% more vehicles, and it sold 40% more vehicles. Let's look at those numbers right now before you understand how the market really is acting peculiar. Total deliveries for Tesla was up to 1.31 million, with total production 1.37 million, meaning everything they made was sold. And that production was up 40% up for the entire year, up 40% for the final quarter. So that looks like great news, doesn't it? That looks like it's beautiful, wonderful news. Market was unhappy. Tesla initially opened down, then it fell even more. By the middle of the day, it was down nearly 13%. Tesla was initially down 3% when the market opened. Unhappy with the number. What do you mean unhappy with the number? Makes no sense to me. The number's a great number. Then Tesla fell to nearly 10% down by the middle of the day, down nearly 13% by the end of the middle of the day. When a company had a 40% growth report 24 hours ago, see what's going on here? Nothing really lines up. You deliver good news, they're unhappy. You deliver bad news, they're really unhappy. Let's look at Apple. Apple shed 3% today on the news that it's going to slash production because of weaker demand for its iPhone production. How about financial institutions? Ally Financial was downgraded by Barclays. Impact, Federal Reserve with those interest rate spikes. Wow. And let's go into some breaking news tonight on data. You're going to see a brand new graphic tonight on Lalate, on evenings. It's this graphic. It's a way for you to sort of pencil into your calendar the upcoming events of the week. And this is this graphic. Tuesday, the PMI manufacturing report was released. I'll go over the latest details of that just minutes from now. And then the Federal Reserve has speeches this Thursday and also releases the new jobless claims number and continuing unemployment claims numbers from the Department of Labor. And on Friday, wow, the jobs report number and the new unemployment rate. So what did that PMI manufacturing report today say? If you're with this channel in 2022, you know how important I place weight in manufacturing reports. They show us if the economy is growing or the economy is shrinking. If the economy is shrinking, more likely a very bad recession. If the economy is growing, more likely not a recession. So let's look at that PMI report that was released this morning. It was on Mornings Lalate live on air when it was announced, and it's from S&P Global. The number for the month of December manufacturing report came in at a 46.2 for December 2022. It's down from the prior month, which was a 47.7. Ouch, that's a big drop in 1 month, isn't it? Yes, it's the biggest drop in this manufacturing report since the pandemic, since May of 2020. Oh boy, not good. Very, very steep decline because of lack of demand on the sales side, causing lack of production. Now, will this economy rebound, and when will certain parts rebound? There's a lot of analysis swirling in the next 2 months. We talked about this all last weekend, and here we have Canaccord Genuity says that the first half will be bad. The second half will have the recovery. Depends across the board, because when stock was up today, the casino operator was up with an upgrade from Wells Fargo. The stock was up 4% pre-market trading, so that had a very nice pop. There were stocks making pops across the board today, with PayPal up 3% with an upgrade from SUISSE. So there were some good runs today. Stocks under pressure at the start of the new year? Absolutely, says Jonathan Krinsky, who says that this will continue for a while. S&P E-minis are working on a descending line for at least 10 days. So he sees at least a 10-day problem with this across the board. Healthcare is the worst sector tonight, with over 1% of its fourth quarter bed sector struggling. But then we go to Tesla. So Tesla fell 4% in pre-market trading after it had those wonderful 40% growth numbers released last night. Makes sense? Makes no sense. By the middle of the day, the stock was down 10%. Then I believe it went down to nearly 13% at some part of the day. Ally Financial also got weaker on a Barclays downgrade across the board. One of the things we're looking for in January, and this is fascinating, I never knew about this, is how I learned from this channel as well, as much as you learn, is we're looking for January with some retail numbers. Retail numbers in January? You mean the December numbers? No, we're talking about the retail numbers for January. Why? Usually, certain retailers have really great revenue-driven numbers from gift cards. Gift cards are given over the Christmas vacation. You're bought maybe on Black Friday. They're given, and then someone does not make the purchase on the gift card until January or February. And when they're in the store, they may buy something else or may actually buy something a little bit more expensive. So that's why January is generally driven by gift card sales. Wow. Gift card returns or purchase, however you call them. Dangling gift cards is a way for it to work, and it's been a lot of examples. We have Anthropology last week that offered a $50 gift card if you spend $200 or more this month. We have other gift cards really heating up at Urban Outfitters. We have big numbers expected from Nordstrom's, Kohl's, Macy's, Walmart, Target, and Best Buy this month based upon the gift cards. They're looking to push people in the stores after the new year, says Stacy Willits, president of SW Retail Advisors, a consulting firm tonight. Fascinating across the board. So the market rebound was not there. Even though Tesla and others had great numbers, this is how the market started when we started the day. It looks much like how it ended last year. But the market really fell apart very quickly, with the Dow plummeting very quickly across the board. What's important to understand is that this is a very peculiar market with a lot at issue and a lot of twists and turns. The economy, your recession, your inflation, your benefit raises, and of course your unemployment all heat up. This very, very confusing economy for 2023. Let's look and see where the markets are right now at the time of this broadcast, which is taped with about an hour to go before the markets close. The Dow is now down 119 points. It was down worse early in the day. The Nasdaq is down 91. It was down worse early in the day. It's been a very volatile day, needless to say, with Kevin McCarthy attempting to attain the House Speaker role and not getting it, at least at the time of this recording, maybe gets it after the recording is over. Very, very volatile day, needless to say. And ultimately, the question is recession. Will the recession be a 2-month recession, or will it be a 2-year recession? Analysts and myself all agree upon the same analysis, that we will know by the end of February. We will know by the end of February 2023 if it's a 2-month recession, which is 24 months, or a 2-year recession, 2-month recession, which is 2 months, or a 2-year recession, which is 24 months. And if it is a 24-month recession, that is why you need to get, you know what I'm about to say, 18 months of stimulus checks. 18 months of stimulus checks. You do not wait for that announcement on February. This is January 2023. You do not wait to February 2023 to be told it's a 2-year recession, because these stimulus checks are still there, $500 million. Will they still be there if everyone learns in February it's a 2-year recession? A to C, stimulus checks. E to K, stimulus checks. L to Q, stimulus checks. 18 months, 5 checks per month, $20,000 across the board. Tonight, I want to touch on a very important point that we often miss on this channel, which is that other people don't understand things as much as you and I do. And market rally, it didn't materialize tonight as we had hoped, and actually fell apart. What's important to understand is that Americans were recently polled by a series of financial news channels if inflation is still with us or gone. They said it's gone. Excuse me? They said inflation is gone because the price of gasoline has gone down. Does that make sense? No. And that's what you're dealing with this economy. Millions of Americans don't understand what inflation is. They don't understand what a recession is. They may not have been alive during the last recession. They may not understand what is causing inflation. And when gasoline prices went down, they said inflation was gone. It's not gone. In fact, there's no indication it is settled anywhere near where the Federal Reserve is going to change it. Now, this week is important for a series of reasons. Why? Because we have some data that's coming in that'll help us understand whether this is a 2-month recession or 2-year. Let's look at the week across the board. Tuesday's manufacturing PMI report was horrible. It really was horrible. That latest number tonight shows us that the economy did not grow, and that PMI report also showed us that we're shrinking very fast. Fastest shrinkage since May of 2020. Does that sound familiar, that date? Yes. That's when that pandemic really took its big form, was in May. Because the pandemic just started in March, but it took its worst form in May when we realized we have a major problem here. The Fed speeches on Thursday are critical. Why? Because I want to see in those Fed speeches if the Federal Reserve governors give us any more guidance on the unemployment issue. What is the unemployment issue? It's the balancing act of getting inflation down to raise interest rates by raising interest rates versus making more people unemployed. They have never answered a very specific question, which is, when is too much unemployment bad and grounds to stop? Let me make this clear tonight, because I don't think I've ever made it clear to you in one sentence. I put them in different parts at different times. We understand the Federal Reserve's target for inflation, 2%. They've been saying that for a long time. It's at 8%, they want to get to 2%. That's pretty simple. We got that. But what about the unemployment part of the question? Remember, the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate: maximum employment and also maximum price stability, which means the most people employed and also means the best, lowest inflation. They've also said very clearly many times, more people will get unemployed as they bring inflation down. Here's the question they've never answered. And we don't really know if anyone's really asked them the specific question, but it needs to be asked. When is too much unemployment reason to stop with the interest rate spikes? This is a fundamental question. Will they answer it? Probably not. Will they give us some guidance? Perhaps. So maybe give us the sort of murky words that give us a little bit of insight. For example, 7% unemployment. Oh, absolutely. We're not going to 7% unemployment. That's pretty easy. But what about 4%? What about 5%? What about 6%? We need to get some smell in this smell test of where unemployment is too much, so that'll give us guidance of when interest rate spikes are too much. We don't know yet. And this is what's fundamentally going to change in the start of 2023. That second part of the equation. Getting to 2% inflation, we may never get there. But we're heading to 2% inflation. That's the focus. That's the goal, the Federal Reserve. But when do we stop because the unemployment rate is too high? I don't know the question. I know the question. I don't know the answer. I don't know where unemployment is too high in the mind of the Federal Reserve for us to stop. Jump in the live chat. Where would you stop the interest rate spikes if the unemployment rate was at, put a percentage in the live chat right now. What do you think that percentage should be for the Federal Reserve to stop those interest rate spikes? 6% inflation, unemployment, 7% unemployment, 3% unemployment, 5% unemployment? No one really knows what the Federal Reserve is thinking, but what do you think? I think at some point it's hideously obvious. Other points it's starting to become obvious. And I think at the moment it's not even starting to become obvious. We're really at such a low unemployment rate still that we really don't know the answer to the question. And here's the problem. I would like the question to be answered before we're at that bad unemployment rate number. I don't want it to be answered when we're there, because then you realize, we caused a problem. We caused a problem. We want to know before we're at that bad unemployment number, not when we're at that bad unemployment number. So that's why this week isn't critical. Why? Because this is the week of the month in which you get two unemployment numbers on different days that say different things. And you know what I'm about to go to. Let's go over that graphic right now. Thursday and Friday are critical on this channel. Let's look at Thursday. Thursday is the weekly number we get every week, but Friday is the monthly number we get once a month. Let's go over the Friday number first. Friday has the most critical number for 2023 in addition to the inflationary rate. It is the unemployment rate. The non-farm payrolls number report, which is also called the jobs report, is released once a month. I don't look at this report for the jobs. Most people don't. I look at it for the unemployment rate in there. That unemployment rate is a percentage. 2, 3, 4. It's a percentage. It's released once a month. And this is the number that would likely give us guidance on when the Federal Reserve would stop with the interest rate spikes, if we knew what was too high of an unemployment rate. Remember, this unemployment rate is part of the goals of the Federal Reserve. They have to get maximum employment, the lowest unemployment rate, and also maximum price stability, the lowest inflation rate. So we're going to watch on Friday how bad this unemployment rate is or how good it is. If it's too good, that means the Federal Reserve is going to be doing this for a while with those interest rate spikes. If it's too bad, then we're going to start to get a sense, is this too bad for the Federal Reserve or just too bad for you and I? We don't know those answers, and that's why Friday is so important on this channel. Thursday's a little bit less important, but not insignificant. It's the weekly jobless claims number, which hasn't moved that much, I gotta say, in the last few weeks, but the long-term unemployment number. I'm looking at that long-term unemployment number more importantly on Thursday. Why? It's hovering at 1.6 million long-term unemployed people. These are people who have been unemployed for more than 1 week. 1.6, not good. 1.7, not good. But it's when it gets much higher is, again, when the Federal Reserve may stop. If it jumps to like a 2 or a 2.1 million, oh boy, get everyone's nose to start bleeding. It's not a good look. The new jobless claims number has really gone all over the place in the last 6 months. So that's not really helping us on this analysis at all. It has gone all the way from 140 to 260, back down to 140, up to 260. It's gone up and down like a roller coaster. So that number really doesn't help us as much as the long-term unemployment number, which continues to grow. Manufacturing report numbers like today's and like the numbers released last Friday are helpful because they show us whether the economy is slowing. Now, corporate earnings coming in about 2 weeks will also tell us that as well. It will reflect the retail sales numbers. And you would assume that the markets would be ecstatic with a company that showed 40% growth less than 24 hours ago in 1 year. They were not. That's why they punished Tesla with a massive drop of that stock today. Confusing? Yes. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. The breaking news continues right now on Evenings LA. That's why you have to really get all these incredible stimulus checks, because if this market is so unpredictable, if the Federal Reserve is so unpredictable, if the recession is so unpredictable, then suddenly it's really too hard to assess risk. Of all the things in tonight's broadcast, what do we know of any of those things at all? In tonight's broadcast, we know that the economy is shrinking because of the PMI report. The manufacturing report was weaker. What else do we have in tonight's report? We show that the markets are uneased, down dramatically when a major company has a major growth of 40% in 1 year. Beyond that, what else do we know tonight? Not a lot else. We show a very, very uneasy, uncomfortable market, a very, very unpredictable economy. And when would we start to get potential clarity? Thursday and Friday this week, February, of course. And if we don't get that clarity, then what? Then we're still in the guessing game. Some analysts saying the first half of the year is going to be very weak and the second half will be strong. I don't know what their basis of that. I think it is just sort of puffery. I think it's just guessing. At the moment, we don't have a lot to go on for this February turn of events. But this week, big. Thursday, big. Friday, big. And especially Friday for the second point of what happens on Friday, Fed governors. Fed governors will be speaking this Friday, and potentially we'll get some guidance when they speak of where they think a bad inflationary rate is. Potentially they give us guidance on where they think a bad unemployment rate is. Where they give us guidance on where they think a shrinking manufacturing report is also bad. Manufacturing shows the economy shrinking. Unemployment shows the Federal Reserve dealing with one of their dual mandates, and inflation shows the Federal Reserve dealing with one of their dual mandates. Ultimately, we need a little bit more guidance for these people because at the moment, we don't have a lot. And that's what we see in tonight's broadcast. Let's go back into those incredible stimulus checks. Remember, 2023 has lots of stimulus checks. And that's why you want to get as much as you can. These are stimulus checks for you if you make $75,000 or less. These are stimulus checks for you if you're a married couple and you make $150,000 or less. These are stimulus checks for you, SSI. Stimulus checks for you, SSDI. SSA, VA, veterans, RB, low income. Stimulus check E through K get first from the president. Stimulus check E through K get next from the Congress. Stimulus checks L to Q, get those as well. How do you get them? Go on to this video, join this channel, become a member, go right into that membership newsletter, and you don't have to write down that address. The URL, the website is at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Get A to C, E to K, L to Q. Small business owner, get stimulus check R. Unemployed, get unemployment, and get PEBT stimulus checks as well. Get as many stimulus checks as you can and as many months as you can. Remember, do not wait for us to learn this economy is getting worse. Do it right now before the bad news comes. 18 months of checks will help you with a 24-month recession. Get as much money as you can across the board. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Keep on doing what you do so well. Stay informed, stay focused. Always pounce, always be motivated, and always do as much as you can do. I'll see you tonight as the programming continues tonight on Evenings LA every night at 5 o'clock, Countdown to 6, Stream of Stimulus at 7, 8 o'clock Extra, 9 o'clock Sunset, and LA Live on Channel 1, 2, and 3, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay at LA for more.